What's going on with Art the Clown and HHN 2026 this year? This light's still on, so it does look like they were doing some light testing last night. So you got Creature looking over the store. More trust has sprouted. Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for a massive Halloween Horror Nights 2026 update. We have construction updates. We have a double Murdy tweet time. We're gonna be going over the RIP experience out in Universal Studios Hollywood, which time frame you should buy. So on that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights shirt of the day. So we're gonna go back to HHN 2008 out in Hollywood, where nightmares come alive. We had Freddy, Leatherface, and Jason. So on that note, let's roll the commercial.
Hi, I'm John Murdy, Creative Director of Universal Studios Hollywood. Welcome to this exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Halloween Horror Nights. Halloween Horror Nights is a special event where we transform the entire theme park into a living horror movie. People always ask us where do the ideas for the haunted attractions in Halloween Horror Nights come from, and it's quite simple. It comes from the movies. You have such a rich tradition with the New Line films, with Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. We watch every movie, but then we go to the internet and we look at all of the fan sites out there. These movies have a rabid fan following, and we want to make sure that we're giving the fans what they want. Guests to Halloween Horror Nights in 2008 can expect movie-quality haunted attractions like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Universal's House of Horrors. Being a movie studio, we also have the Tram. That's an experience where we take our guests to a remote section of our backlot where some of the most famous horror movies of all time were filmed, and we drop them off. And they have no choice but to walk through these haunted sets while characters are stalking them at every turn. The theme for Halloween Horror Nights 2008 is Live Your Worst Nightmare. And of course that involves our good friend, Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Right now we're working on a brand new Nightmare on Elm Street attraction. Last year we took our guests into the Weston Hills Asylum, which is the mental hospital where Freddy was conceived and born. But this year, we're going to the House of Freddy, 1428 Elm Street. You're going to enter the house, and from there you're going to be transported into the realm of nightmares where virtually anything is possible. When you're creating a haunted attraction like the experiences we create for Halloween Horror Nights, this is actually where it starts. It's pretty much like making a movie. You figure out the environments you want the guests to experience, you figure out what characters you want to be in them, and then you figure out what the effects are, what the scares are. And then after you've kind of built the maze that way, it turns into this. It's like a 60-page treatment that spells it out exactly from the guest's point of view, so we can try to visualize what our guests are going to experience. From there, it goes to detailed drawings, floor plans, concept art, all of the tools we use to visualize or pre-visualize what the experience is going to be before we literally build it. And then, of course, we have to build it. And being here in Hollywood, we're surrounded by the talent of the film industry, so we get to work with some of the most talented art directors, designers, prop makers in the business, and we put an incredible amount of detail into our haunted attractions. We want you to feel like you literally stepped into the horror movie.
Now they've been repainting the entire front entrance of Universal Studios. We can see all the advertisements have been taken down. They painted that. So they probably will paint the archway. If you didn't know, the original archway with the original color was that kind of gray paint job. So they'll probably repaint the entrance to Universal Studios. Yeah, see, all the advertisements have been removed and the new paint job has been applied. Oh my God, I can see the inflatable right there. The tentacles are looming over the building. Oh my God, look at the other blob over there. They have one of the inflatable monsters for the new Minions movie, like Minions and Monsters. They used to do this all the time throughout the theme parks. There's Chicken Little at Hollywood Studios. We had Shrek over here. I love that they're bringing back this strange marketing by having massive inflatables on buildings. Pop into the Brown Derby, see if there's any new discounted merchandise in there. They did get a ton of the Dracula little kid Universal Monsters backpacks. So this is all 70% off. They have a ton of the Epic Universe shirts. If you didn't pick them up at Epic, they got them here now. Then we got an Epic Universe sweatshirt. A little bit of a glitter design right there. I don't have that same design on the back. We did get some Fast and Furious merchandise in here. Fast and wide. Open, furious. I think it's supposed to be fast and furious, wide open. That could be, yeah. I'm taking before and after photos to compare how it looks now to when we start getting more lights. But I think this light might be new, or I could just be going crazy. Right above the Today Cafe. Now the thing is, they never really took down lights from like last year, because they had Mardi Gras and the Christmas parade, and then now they have the Mega Movie Summer Parade. So all the lights are still kind of up. This light's still on, so it does look like they were doing some light testing last night. But these have all been here. Maybe that one might be new, like those right there. But I'm gonna have to do before and after photos now for the update season to find out what has actually changed. I could be like, that's new and that's new, but for the past couple months I really have not been looking at the lighting, so maybe it is new. But we'll see over the season if they add any more lights. But I feel like these just stayed up. I did get my ticket for Disclosure Day, so I'll be seeing it on the 11th. So here's a new display. This is where you would exit for the horror makeup show. Creature was here. He's migrated a little bit over here. So you got Creature looking over the store, the old Monster World magazine cover. You come down here. This is a garlic-free workplace. Now, Monstergram Pictures is what we saw pop up in the All Hallows Eve boutique. It has returned over here. As you know, they're kind of making that alien film. So we've seen this brand pop up before. Now, I like this little detail. If you look at the top, it's supposed to look like, you know, the burning blade. You have the bolts as like Frankenstein's bolts. So Monstergram Picture Studios. They have a poster for the Phantom of the Opera. We have a light over here, and it says, no UV bulb. They don't want to hurt Count Dracula. It is a hot set. We got Frankenstein meets the Wolfman right here. And then here we have the camera that was also at All Hallows Eve Boutique. It's kind of like, you know, one of Frankenstein's experiments. We got the electrical coil where it's kind of been stitched up from the side. And it's a lens, so you got an eyeball for one of the camera lenses. But it says, no torches. As you know, Frankenstein's monster does not like torches. Delivered to, it's crossed out, but it says Monsters Cafe. Now it just says Grass Lot. Oh, that's sad. We have a Famous Monsters magazine over here, a classic Universal Studios board. Please keep all costumes away from the Wolfman. The Wolfman's chair from Monsters Cafe that they had up there, as you can see, Wolfman was scratching the side of the chair. You can see his hand down there. They're wolf hands. And then right here it says bride props, and it says a white dye bandages. So you can see the bride's kind of cloth right there, and then the Wolfman's hair on the back of the chair. And then over here, again, this has been on the display forever, but it says the Rita because that's the boat from the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, also the fun thing about the Monstergram Pictures is you see the lightning, right, with the bolts. BC 1931, because on November 21st, 1931, that's when the original Frankenstein film came out. So then you see Stage 28. That's one of the most famous sound stages of all time. Soundstage 28 from Universal Studios Hollywood. They filmed the Phantom of the Opera there, Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein. So that's why there's a Stage 28. There's also like this like candy kind of on the brick. It almost feels like it's reused from the Major Sweets house, because you got like some green candy and then like some pink candy. It does say daisies for Frank only. As you know, Frankenstein's monster's hanging out with a little girl picking daisies. Doesn't end up well for her, let's just say that, which then leads to, you know, some torches. So, great little addition to Five and Dime. I love when they add different Easter eggs, brings people into the gift shops, gets guests excited, annual pass holders excited, team members are excited, because we love our Universal monsters. All right, nothing new with the truss over here. More truss has sprouted. We got some truss that goes all the way up right there. And we got more truss that has appeared right over there. And then another one right here. It's like truss Christmas. So we got truss there, truss there, truss there, and then also truss there. Let's get a shot from this angle so we can see the full spectacle. We'll start there, and it goes to there, and then it goes to there, and then right there. So I wonder if they're gonna do a stage here again, kind of like what they did with the cat lady, but it does look like it'll be more than just over there, that it'll continue to this area. It's time for the first Murdy update. There's John Murdy right there. John! Okay, so John tweeted out snapshot of a typical day in the life of HHN, reviewing color, evaluations for one house, sculpts big and small for another house, writing trivia for a Q-Line video, reviewing Scare Zone character design, looking at photos for films that haven't come out yet, etc., etc., etc. So John is confirming here that there's an IP coming of a film that has not come out yet. We will talk about this later. So someone asked John this: how is the process going for HHN 2027? At this point, is the IP slate figured out already? Moving along, working on house number 3. Most things are figured out. How are the character designs for the Scare Zones for this year? Are the Scare Zones all original or some Scare Zones IP? John says, awesome. You'll find out later. John, when are you coming to the States to oversee HHN construction process? Or are you gonna be here until August for Midsummer Scream? John says end of July. So John will have boots on the ground at the end of July, which will then lead into him coming for Midsummer Scream. That's an incredible range of creative work in a single day. When you look back after HHN opens, what element tends to have the biggest impact on how guests remember a house or Scare Zone? John says, and I didn't even mention reviewing contracts, etc. Honestly, 99% of the time, it's how scary it was. Does all this make it more difficult doing all this from across the pond? John says, no, I've been doing it like this for 8 years. I love how random the prizes can be. Like now they're having Fall Guys as prizes in Springfield. Last time we were here, there were no trucks. One truck has appeared, but they've backed it up to the door, so we can't see it, but we can see in the door. And then over here, looks like teams are back to work. There's reserve parking now for Mecca. That's the third-party company that's working on the house back there right now. So when it comes to the houses, they're built by like third-party companies. So Universal kind of designs them, and then they work with a third-party company to kind of help build it. There's many different layers and different teams that it takes to build a haunted house. Mecca's kind of building it right now. So Mecca's like one of the best. That house should be really good back there, but they have reserved parking for Mecca back there. Now this is set up to project something on the side of the building. They normally just have these out for kind of a company buyouts. I don't think this is for HHN right now. I'm sure they'll have one out for HHN. See what the wait times are like. All right, Popeyes, 5 minutes. Kane Kodo's 5 minutes. ET's a 10-minute wait. Hogwarts Express is only a 10-minute wait. Fire Drill's a 20-minute wait. Why the heck is VillainCon a 20-minute wait? Mummy's 20 minutes, Transformers 20 minutes, Forbidden Journey's 25. Velocicoaster's a 30-minute wait? What? Stardust Racer's 30 minutes, Incredible Hulk 35 minutes. Why the heck is Jimmy Fallon a 55-minute wait? This makes no sense. Minecart, 150 minutes. Say a prayer for whoever's waiting in that line. Haggard's is only 95. That's normally triple digits most of the day. Ministry's a 90-minute wait. It's bizarre what's busy and what's not. All the lights for the Fear Factor show are on, so I wonder if they were installing stuff or working on stuff last night. I can see some stuff like over there. Back there, there's like a new crate that popped up. It says MT Show 1. That's probably for the HHN show. Stairs right there. So there's some different stuff that's popped up. We'll talk about this stage show a little later on. We have a long road until HHN. A lot of hardcore HHN fans will be very happy with what's going to be happening back there. So Art the Clown was a massive draw last year for HHN Orlando and HHN Hollywood. There's different rumors and speculation about if he's returning or not. We'll talk about that a little later. But what I want to show you first is a little mini Universal Studios Hollywood vlog that we filmed on the final night when I was there for this video to talk about the RIP experience. You guys saw the video when I went with Allison to the RIP experience last year. We went to like the first spot. So in this little mini vlog, Adam and I went to a later start time for the RIP experience out there. So I was able to kind of compare what is it like going in later in the night. Enjoy the little mini vlog. Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Hollywood. We're here for another night of Halloween Horror Nights. This is my 5th night this year. Adam's doing an RIP tour, so we're doing another one of those. I've never come halfway through the season, so like Orlando evolves so much over the season. But when I come to Hollywood, I just come for that opening weekend. So I'm excited to kind of see the evolution of Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. We're gonna go say hi to Art the Clown real quick, and our tour doesn't start till 8:15. The park is not open yet. 180-minute wait for Terrifier, 5-minute wait for Poltergeist. So the great thing about the RIP tour is you check in, they give you the lanyard so you can start going through the RIP entrance. You don't have to wait till after the tour to start using your perks. Now there's different entrances. There's a standby where it's 180 minutes, then there's Express where it's still pretty long, and then the RIP Express, like an instant walk-on. You can start going through these houses before your tour even starts. There he is, incoming of Art the Clown. I got the Killer Clown shirt on. What's his thoughts about killer clowns?
Hello, Art. You look great. You're right, that's right.
Hey, Art! What you got? Oh no! What you got in the bag? Body parts?
Now, Art, what are your thoughts about these clowns? I think they're a little better. They've been around a little longer than you have.
Oh my gosh.
Which way to your house? I don't know how to get to your house. Okay, oh, no Poltergeist. Terrifier, okay, thank you, Art. The standby queue is all the way back here. Hey, how you doing? Good luck tonight. It's a little busy. 180 minutes for Terrifier right now. It's gonna be an interesting night for the scare actors. It's a little humid out and a little hot. So the issue with HHN out here is there's no AC. These houses are not inside sound stages, so it's very toasty inside the house. So the performers are wearing all those massive outfits, so they're gonna be sweating. All right, so this is RIP. This is Express, okay? RIP literally just walks right up to the house, zero waiting. So you can get the RIP tour and just not be with your tour guide. You can just have your lanyard and go around the park if you don't want to go on the tour. RIP is the way to go. We just walked straight up. I will say they cranked up the amount of water in there. I'm pretty wet. You made me extremely wet in that house, Art.
Everybody loves a clown. Painted face and bright red nose, the button eyes black as crows, the floppy shoes and silly hat, the bloody axe and baseball bat. You'll laugh, you'll chuckle, you'll even grin. That is until the nightmares come. Or under the bed, it doesn't matter, you'll soon be dead.
right, so our tour is at 8:15. So tours I think start at 6. I think they're like every 15 minutes that you can sign up, but it is a timed tour. So it's gonna be a little different than our last RIP tour. Last time we went straight to the buffet. We're gonna go down to the lower lot first, hit those houses, and then go to the buffet around like 9:15. I love this view. You see everybody coming in. Last time we hopped in the little trolley or tram and went down the lower lot. We're gonna take escalators down to the lower lot.
You're gonna go through and see highlight parts 2 through 7. Anybody who's a fan, you can always tell by the mask. Going into Camp Crystal Lake.
The characters here are next level. They're even more aggressive than they were a couple weeks ago. And it's extremely hot. There's no AC in there, so they're dripping sweat. They're working their butts off in there. We're gonna head off the Scarecrow now and listen to some Slash music. We're heading in. All right, we are heading in to Five Nights at Freddy's. So FNAF Express goes right to the back of Transformers. Oh my God. So they now have a queue set up to get the FNAF pizza. All right, so we're on our way to the Y at 6 right now. They got a little plushie right there.
By this family and giving them what they consider a purpose in their own sick and twisted way.
We're here.
We're going back up all the escalators. Now for the RIP that we did last time, right, we had an earlier start time. We were able to accomplish a lot more. So like we went up to the Slash bar, hung out in the RIP lounge, went to Super Nintendo World, got to ride Mario Kart. But because we're starting a little later, the start time was 8:15. I think we're skipping all that and we're going upstairs. I would suggest doing an earlier start time because you get more done with your tour guide, I feel like. Okay, so since we're halfway through the night, now we're gonna go to the buffet. Probably the exact same food that we had last time, so I'm not gonna do an in-depth dive into it. We're just gonna get some food. Now, this is the only place where you can get a photo with Art is during the RIP experience. He kind of roams around. Now it's time for the specialty RIP drink they can purchase. The playtime's over. Tequila, watermelon puree, habanero, lime juice, agave with a chamoy and tahim rim with chamoy gummy bears. It's like a spicy watermelon margarita. I'm gonna do like an 8 out of 10. We just had a great time with Art. Now the food in Hollywood is terrible, but the food in the RIP and the VIP area is great. It's honestly worth every penny to come to RIP because you actually get something edible inside the park. There's not many good options. We're fueled up. We had an hour to eat, go to the bathroom, interact with this guy. He's a hoot. We're gonna meet up with our tour guide. They're hopping the trolley. Time to go on our private little trolley. Say hello to the Hellbillies. Hopping on the trolleys.
Miss me? The bitch is back.
Nothing burns like the cold. Look what you made me do.
Okay, so now it's time for the hunt for Log Bunny, but it's time for Murdy tweet time. John Murdy right there. John. So John tweeted out this: there are many secret traditions associated with the Terror Tram. Here's a few. This is Log Bunny, the unofficial mascot of the Terror Tram. He's been around since the beginning and appears in different locations every night. He's literally a log we found on the back lot who became this. This is Old Shoe. He's an old shoe we found in the wreckage of the War of the Worlds set. He's always in the same place, sitting on the wing of the crashed plane. This is our effigy of Frank, a pilot who crashed during a failed stunt back in 1916. We always erect an effigy to his memory every year at Terror Tram. He's in the cockpit of the plane. This is the latest member of the group, Tony Tenpins. He's a stock body that was never used for HHN because he looks too much like Sloth from the Goonies. This year we gave him a makeover and found him a prominent spot on Terror Tram. They're all out there. See if you can find them. Hopefully we find Log Bunny tonight.
The body and the blood. You're a little late to the party, Cupcake. All right, meat sacks, let's get this party started.
Alright, there's the booth. He is, there's my boy. Little Log Bunny sitting in a chair.
I'm not sure you fully realize your predicament. I've run the simulation 1,000 times and it always ends the same way. You die.
I know that some of you have come down the Terror Tram, able to walk through. They're not going to put those in. But Log Bunny, that Log Bunny, since I have been here, I've been here 11 years. My first year working here was 2014. And I remember the Halloween Horror Nights coming through Terror Tram and seeing that exact Log Bunny. Somebody at some point, I don't know if it was that year, maybe it's been here even longer than that, took that log, that big round log, put those 4 sticks into it, and then tied rabbit ears with the sunglasses on it. And it only comes out during Horror Nights for the Terror Tram. And they place it in a different spot every night. So it's never in the same place over the weekend. It could end up at the same place over multiple weekends. Like one of the places they love to put it in is the window of the airplane, that second section. There's a big open window and he sits up there and just looks over everybody. Another place is right as you're going where we went in to start going to the RIP photo op. That children's play area, it looked like the jungle gym. They'll stick them right there, but they place them in a different spot every night. So it becomes like a whole Where's Waldo thing. These gentlemen right here, apparently they knew to look for Log, but I'm so excited that people have realized this because it's been so long, and I tell people like, oh, I wasn't even looking for them. I didn't see them. Now, the next time you come through, next year, maybe you come through before Horror Nights ends again, this season, you come back on, look for Log Bunny. May not be in the same spot. Once Terror Tram and the Horror Nights are over, I don't know where Log Bunny goes. He's kind of like Elf on the Shelf for Horror Nights.
We're heading back into Terrifier again. Yeah! Woo! What's the fun poltergeist
I
fact?
can't remember who told me, but recently somebody told me that the skeleton thing at the end
We're all in this together. Don't make me sing with my
is the bird that dies at the beginning of Poltergeist that they bury in the cigar box next to the pool. And once you figure that out, it kind of makes sense that maybe that's the creature at the end, at the base.
Okay, so we're heading to the last two houses now. Our tour guide was saying Terrifier was a 180-minute wait, so that's 3 hours long. Currently in the tour, we are 3 hours into the tour, so we've accomplished all this stuff, 8 for an hour, all in 3 hours, while people who would have been in line would have just been getting into Terrifier. Holy crap, the line for Terrifier is back here.
First line to Terrifier!
Express is back here for Terrifier. I have never seen Express come all the way up past the snack cart, all the way up the street. That's just Express. Flight of the Hippogriff is all the way back here, the line. Universal Orlando and Hollywood are packed this year. The busiest I've seen it in a very long time. Hollywood, I expect no black walls next year. Y'all got the budget? There is a new scare that got added at the end of Fallout. So there's like an Elvis at the end. Let's see if he's there or not. Jailhouse Rock Elvis is now at the end of Fallout. That wasn't there in opening, they added that.
That horrible creature, cursed with a face as ugly as her soul. This one has muchos nombres in Centroamérica. La Ciguanaba, La Cegua, La Cihuehue. Children want to
I am La Muelona.
slow motion, digital lipstick, a shade corrosive. Boiling, kicking the frog, never noticed. How many times did we question the motive? Until the roles reversed, we became the gears we turned. We didn't use the thing we learned. We got too close to the ones and O's. We lost control. You didn't wanna believe. You didn't wanna believe. You didn't wanna believe in the rise of the...
That is a wrap on Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood on that note. Okay guys, welcome back. So we will continue our park update, but that video was kind of like very emotional for me to edit. Because like half the time I was editing it, I was like, this is the last time I'm ever gonna experience HHN with Adam. And then the other half was like, if you've ever, you know, been a filmmaker or editor, it's like when you're editing and creating a video or film or something, it's like that person and moment is still alive within that. So it's very like emotional for me to kind of like edit the video. Like I still have like 4 or 5 more videos to edit with Adam, but I hope you guys enjoyed our little mini RIP tour. All right, let's look into Boris's office. Nothing new, no new clues yet. There's a rope going down though, stating that something else will be coming right there. Okay, so the RIP experience out in Hollywood. So this is the rundown for the RIP tour. Get the VIP treatment with an evening of first class horror featuring an expert shared guided tour of Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses and exclusive experiences along the way, including a gourmet dinner. So you can do a private tour, but those things cost a ton of money. So within the purchase of RIP, you get a 1 RIP ticket admission to Halloween Horror Nights. Ticket includes a guided walking tour through the event, one-time RIP entry to each haunted house, as well as select rides and attractions based on tour itinerary, reserved VIP seating at live shows based on your itinerary availability. While on the tour with RIP tour guide, same day limited access to the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift based on itinerary, and unlimited express access with RIP tour credentials at each haunted house, ride, and attraction for the night of your tour. Express access is a separate line with a shorter wait. Daytime admission to the park is not included. Ticket does not include early access. RIP tour tickets are for tours up to 12 guests per party, and then you get complimentary valet parking. We had an incredible time for the first spot. I think we went at like 6 o'clock for the first one. The first possible RIP tour, go to that one, because I feel like we got to do a lot more, we got to experience a lot more. So do the first spot, don't do the later spot. We did reach level 35 on the Backlot Club. See what's going on with the Fast and Furious construction, but first, you know we got to get some pigeon content for you guys. This looks about the same. So their main focus just looks to be this building right now, just trying to enclose it and finish it. You can see the different teams working on it right there. But that seems to be the main point of activity back here right now, is that building. See if there's anything new inside the Tonight Shop. I've not been in here in months. So it looks like half the stores just become generic Universal Studios Florida merch. This is a cool crossbody bag. I don't think I've seen this. 45 bucks. Kind of has that galactic finish to it. But then they have all the Saturday Night Live stuff over here that dropped last year. And then off in this little corner, they have the Jimmy Fallon merch. So they just shoved this merch into this corner. Over here we got the Love is Universal stuff, the vintage Universal stuff, and then the annual pass holder merchandise. Then on top of Minions Cafe, they have a giant monstrous hemorrhoid looking thing above the Bank of Evil. I just adore strange marketing like this. All right, we're heading to City Walk now. Let's see what's going on with the Fast and the Furious coaster. All right, let's see the latest Fast construction. So we saw them put the track right there. They've added another piece of track that's going up. So it's gonna go all the way up the spike. But that piece of track got added. Then if we come over here, this was already here, but they have more track on the ground, probably to be installed tonight. It's like they work overnight. You come in every morning, you're like, oh my God, what did they just do? So we'll see the track loop all the way around. But yeah, we just have track chilling there for right now. So out here at City Walk, we're gonna have the special Powerade and World Cup food booth here. So I'm sure there's gonna be special Coca-Cola cocktails. Then over here we got the Doritos Loaded food booth. So again, these are not opened yet. Probably when the World Cup starts is when the stuff will open. They do have like a staging area over here. So there's all sorts of different trusts over here, which then has the overlay of the Visa Worldwide partner for FIFA. So this will be installed all throughout City Walk. Truss update, but not HHN truss update. There's so many of them. Look at all these. I guess this is like their little holding building zone. They got some flags up here on the stage for Pride Month. Now we still have not made it into the retro nights. And they do have a Pride overlay with some different drinks for the month of June. But maybe this weekend I'll swing by and see how the Coconut Club is. Now they still have the Whopper Bar signage up. Let's see how the Whopper Bar is looking, because Five Guys is coming. Whopper Bar sign is still up. Let's see how it looks on the inside. All right, so all the seating has been removed. This is still up. It still says Whopper Bar, still has the Whopper Bar motto over there. And it looks about the same. It does not look like it's Five Guys yet. Still has the entire kind of innards of a Burger King kitchen. The grills are gone back there, but that's about it. So maybe later this summer, but it doesn't look like they're trying to get the Five Guys restaurant in here anytime soon. The fact that all the Burger King signage is still up. Okay, let's go back to the office and talk about what's going on with Art the Clown and HHN 2026 this year.
Okay guys, we're back in the office. So now let's talk about all the rumors and speculation about Art the Clown and Terrifier returning for HHN this year. So we've seen on the spec map, people saying that Terrifier is coming this year and Art the Clown is returning. I will say that Universal and the Terrifier team were incredibly impressed with kind of the turnout and how popular the Terrifier IP was. We'll see Art the Clown pop up a lot in the future, but I will say it's heavily rumored that he's not going to be a house. We could see Art pop up in some capacity, or Terrifier pop up in some capacity this year. Again, this is all rumors and speculation. IPs can drop out, things can be changed. It's all one giant game of telephone. But guys, on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. Join the family.
We love the family!
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights around the country. I love you all. I'll see y'all very soon.
We're all in this together.
Hey, no, no,
The old magazine cover.